Welcome to the Soul Happy Success Series. I'm your coach and your girl, Rebecca. What is up? Today, my overachievers, I am talking to you because this is for you when you're in that period of frustration, right? You've been working hard, your business isn't paying yet, you've been visualizing your dream relationship, but the person hasn't shown up yet, you're taking care of your body, but you don't have that ass that those girls on Instagram have yet, and you're just like, frustrated. It leads you to one thing. You're pissed off, you're angry, you're annoyed, you're blaming the world because honestly, it's not just your fault. It's society, it's generational, it's your beliefs. Okay, this is for you. So if you are in that boat, keep watching. And also, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. It helps so much if this video is useful to you. So, I want to introduce you to one thing today, and it is the formula of frustration. So the formula of frustration goes like this: you have a fake expectation plus a failed reality equals your frustration. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So, fake expectation is your ideal. This is your higher self visualization, the you that you want to be, the perfect version of you that PS doesn't exist because you're actually just perfect the way you are. But this version of you that is like light years ahead of where you are right now, right? And the thing about that is you made it up. Perfect doesn't exist, bro. Like you made up this version of you that was doing all things, achieving everything, like hanging out with their girlfriends and like spending time with their husband and like being the perfect mom. And if you so choose to be a parent, by the way, not everyone does. The perfect entrepreneur, the perfect coach, like all your clients are paying on time and they're paying above and beyond. Like this version that you're like, oh, right? That's made up in your brain. And by the universe, I 100% believe that too. But it is made up, right? It's just where you want to be. And the problem with that is because you're an overachiever, then all you see is your failed reality. You're like, I am not happy with my body yet. I don't have a partner yet. I'm not a parent yet. Should you want to be one? I don't have the business. My clients never pay on time. Like all of the things that are failing in your reality, right? And P.S. I know that a lot of people have like take umbrance with the word failing. I don't mean failing is a bad thing, right? But in this feeling, it's like, oh, like I'm not doing well, right? We need failure to grow, is what I'm saying. So, to explain this a little bit more, I love explaining this to my clients. The story always pops into my head of when I met my husband. So this is a little bit of insider information. If you're looking for love, this is going to really help you too, but it perfectly illustrates this, right? So I was part of a coaching program at the time that encouraged a lot of visualization, right? So I'm visualizing this every single day for at least a year, right? After I had done a whole bunch of healing. So, like, I'm imagining what he looks like, what he feels like, what he speaks like everything. And I had like this very fixed idea of like the man of my dreams in my head, right? And he's going to be over 6 foot tall and he's going to be like CEO with a soul and he's going to be in Edinburgh and we're going to live out our lives in a penthouse suite in Edinburgh. It's going to be wonderful. I'm going to work my business. He's going to run his business. Oh, we're just going to have the most wonderful time, right? So all of these things I had been telling myself, and my dating app preferences were set to this. You know, he's not going to be a smoker. He's not going to do drugs. Not that those things are a problem. Should you not think that, right? But like I was so specific, right? Months passed and nothing. Like, not that there was no one on it, but nothing that was really like floating my boat. Like some failed dates, I was just like, oh, this is not really enjoyable. Like, thanks, but no thanks. And the thing is that I love dating. Like, I think dating is the most fun. And I still was kind of getting to the point where I was like, where is he though? Like, universe, we're having fun, but I would still really like this vision. So when I was frustrated, it's because I had this expectation and my reality didn't meet it. Fake expectation plus a failed reality. So I was frustrated, right? So this is the point where I was like, okay, I should delete the app, get a cat, swear off men forever, and maybe get another tarot reader to just check that I'm destined not for love, right? So what I saw was that I was stuck. And I was stuck because I was measuring myself against this very fixed dream, which was incredibly specific. And while not unattainable, this man 100% exists. If I could see him in my brain, he 100% exists, right? But not the right person for me. That was my fake expectation. Then paired with this failed reality that I hadn't met him yet, I landed in this place called the gap, right? All I could see was the gap between every guy I dated and the one that I wanted, right? Or social media against what I wanted. And instead of focusing on having more fun and being less specific, then I was like, I'm just going to change the main thing. Because what I'd been telling myself was he must be over 6 foot is always the first thing that I had said, right? And I've dated people over 6 foot. They obviously did not work out before this, right? So I'm not saying anything against everyone that's above 6 foot. I think they're wonderful, majestic giants. But I was just stuck in this place of, well, why am I so fixed? Because I got so frustrated to the point where I was like, I want to throw in the towel. I was like, why is it so fixed that this person has to be a certain way? So the one thing, the main thing that I felt like if I changed it would really open up some doors was to change the height, right? It sounds ridiculous, right? But I was on Hinge, not an ad, but I've just got married, so take that as you will. So I was on Hinge. I'd paid for it. I highly recommend if you are searching for love, you want to tell the universe, like pay for an app. Again, I'm not telling you to use Hinge, but it worked for us. And interestingly, my husband is 5'10", a creative writer. We are in Texas, so very different, but more wonderful than I could ever have dreamed. And the question you're probably thinking is like, how do you get around this frustration? Like when you got to that point of like wanting to throw in the towel and you change your height specifications, like what else changed? And it was start to see the gain, right? Whether it's relationships or you're going on better dates or you just left a relationship that wasn't right for you or your business or, posting on social media for the first time or getting your first client or making your first 10K, whatever it is that is your driving force, like whatever gains you've had along the way, whatever beautiful experiences you've had in a date, whichever funny experiences you've had, whatever you get on social media when someone says like, thank you so much for sharing that, or send you a private message and says like, this is really useful, count those as gains, because when you're an overachiever, all you see is I'm not there yet, and you miss the greatness in the moment. So you'll be one of those people that just like hates dating or hates building their business, and they're like just like struggling for this end goal, and you'll never get it because you fucking hate the journey. Like you're not having fun. Your life will not magically get better when you find the man of your dreams or when your business makes, 100 million a year. Your life has to be full and whole as it is. So see the steps that got you there, whether it's getting the app or, when you went on the fun date, but you said no, thank you, or that time you meditated, or when you Googled, how do I post on social media? Or when you read a book that told you how to grow your business from scratch. Like, count everything as a win, and they seem too small, and most of the overachievers in the room are like, oh, but that's not massive action. And you know what, ain't nobody built a business purely on massive action alone. There also had to be consistency. There had to be practices and actions that they did over and over and over again. Like, think of a writer, obviously we just highlighted my husband as one, but the labor of love that it is. And I've actually met a few writers, funnily enough, because of my husband, but my friends, a whole bunch of my friends are now writers, and I'm like, they're not related. So a writer, for example, writing a novel, like it's such a labor of love to get to the point of a finished novel. But then when it's finished, you've got 100 more steps until, you're the next Tolkien. So it's like, how do you get that out? How do you get your name out there? How do you find an agent? Do you self-publish? Like there's 100 other questions. So you're going to get to the top of your mountain and then realize, oh, there's another peak. So instead, love the journey. If you find a writer that hates to write, not the right job, right? So it's just a case of like, you're not starting from zero. Even if you think you are, you're not starting from zero. You have a whole life of lessons that are fueling this. And within those periods of frustrations, like, know that you are exactly where you need to be. Something is developing in you, your truth, your voice, your skills. Don't miss the journey by focusing only on the outcome. Focus on what it took to get you there, right? And know that you are guided here by whoever you place your trust in, whether it is God, source, Star Wars, everyone's allowed in my house, welcome to my house. Not to get spiritual, but I will, like, it's a season of trust and leaning in and holding the faith. No matter what, you just show up and do your best and you keep going and honor how you feel and keep pulling yourself back into this place of the gain. Great book, The Gap versus the Gain. I highly recommend it. It pretty much tells you this concept in the whole book, but focusing on the greatness in your life and on all the things that have taken you to get there will make it so much sweeter a ride, right? And if this feels like a challenging season or you feel called to grow, I 100% have an experience for you. So you can apply through the online form below by answering 3 really simple questions. You'll get a one-to-one call with me, see if we're a great fit for working together. I feel like you're probably at the end of this video because potentially it's a match, you and me. And I trust that you were guided to this video for a reason. So in the meantime, if you want some homework, soul work to take away and do, like, write whatever area is frustrating you right now. Write all of the things that have got you to where you are, because where you are right now is the most powerful place. So it's a case of write down everything that got you here, whether you're stressed at business or relationships or with family, whatever it is. Write down all of the gains that you have in your life and work from that place instead of working from this place of lack and scarcity, of looking at where you will be. 100% believe you'll get there. But if you just focus on being there, you're missing everything in between. And you can't find happiness there. You can't hate yourself to happiness. It's not possible. So in the meantime, I'll be right over here believing that and believing in you. And I will see you next week.